Welcome back to episode 2, the Janet Leimkuhler story, Stories from the River. Janet, let's get going.
Let's do it.
Join Charlie Maloof as he explores the personal journeys of Broad River Retail's very own memory makers. Welcome to Stories from the River.
Okay, so since you've joined us, how has the company grown, adapted, and changed?
A lot. I mean, we grow and we change every day. And I feel like that's why we stay relevant. We're not stuck in our ways. We don't think this way is the right way. And I'm guilty of that too. You know, I'm always very set in my ways. But I think that we have just been very flexible, very in tune with what's going on in the world and being able to make changes and innovate and grow. And I think our biggest thing is the collaboration. There is not one team that's responsible for anything that happens here. It is a group of people that make everything happen.
So since you've been a part of the company for so long, are there any milestones or achievements that either really stand out to you from the company perspective or accomplishments that you take a lot of pride in?
Yes, every 31 of the stores that we have, I have I love that I was a part of all of that. Again, not responsible for it, a small part in making the success. The stores go live. It was, the hardest probably time that we've gone through, but I really think it just elevated all of us to really know that we needed each other. Opening Fort Mill, that was definitely awesome. Renovations.
A lot of renovations.
Yeah.
Some done really well, some not quite as well.
Correct, yeah.
So, okay, let's get to know you a little bit better.
Okay.
So I've got a quick get to know Janet Leimkuhler icebreaker question for you.
Okay.
All right, so let's say you finally decided to hang up your cleats at the river and you're sitting on your rocking chair drinking some sweet tea or whatever your beverage of choice is and reflecting back on the good old days. Maybe Victor calls you and says, "Hey Janet, let's talk about the good days." Well, and people are gonna they get 3 words to describe you. What do you want those 3 words to be to represent your legacy?
Passionate, hardworking, and committed. I'm super passionate about what we do. Probably Manny would say sometimes I'm too passionate about what we do, but I don't look at it as just a job or, where I am. I look at it, I look at this company like it's my company. So, I just want to make sure that we always kind of get the job done right. So I'm pretty passionate about that.
That's awesome. And I think everyone would probably who knows you would say, yes, she's passionate, hardworking, and committed. So what do you think have been the secrets to your success?
Well, there's not always been success. There's been a lot of stumbling, through things. But putting my family first. And there were definitely times in the last 19 years that my work-life balance kind of went back and forth, but putting them first and just being able to navigate through that. But just having the tenacity, the desire to do it, get it right every day. I every day is a new, I want to wake up and I want to get it done right. I'm not going to be that person that really just coasts unless it was right after my second child. I coasted for a while. But I didn't sleep, so I coasted.
We'll give you some grace on that one.
Thanks.
So what are your best daily habits that serve you well?
I get up early every day. So I am, 4:30 in the morning, kind of every day, getting up, getting started, spending that time every day with my kids, getting them ready in the morning, and then just starting fresh. I come in and I write a list of what I'm going to do every single day, and I never complete it, but because things happen and change. But I feel like getting a list really helps me kind of stay grounded, and then I can go back to it as if something happens, I can always go back to it, and I feel like we get it done every day.
Yeah, I'd love to kind of see your list process, and if you've modified it over the years or adapted new ways of prioritizing, or kind of done some life hacks on it. I'm sure you have, and I'm sure you're getting a lot more done off that list than you used to. So, what is something that you've learned about yourself, or about what you've been able to accomplish that has surprised even you?
The past couple of years, I've definitely had to get outside of my box. I am a person, I could stay in my office for 10 hours a day and not leave the computer and get the job done every day. But I've had to really step out of my comfort zone and manage and work with people. So that's just not something I was ever used to. So that is something that really has surprised me, and that I think the team responds to. So I think that I'm not just this person that doesn't know what I'm talking about. I've done the work. I've gone through it, so I understand where they are and how we can kind of move past it. So
yeah, I think you were a category manager and did a lot of laptop work or wherever.
Yeah.
When Mandy told me that you want to go into visual impact, and my question was, she wants to go work with people and go to travel to all the stores. I didn't know that's what, but it's been remarkable how you've made that transition, and you and Manny have really partnered to kind of take your career on this brand new arc that's served the company really well, and where you've continued to really, really, really thrive. So what are you most proud of thus far in your Broad River career? For you, any certain accomplishment or achievement that stands out for you personally?
Again, the 31 stores. I mean, I just kind of go back to where we were and what we've came from. I'm proud of every single day that I've been here. I'm proud that I plan to retire here, clearly.
That's our plan too.
Yeah. So I'm just really kind of proud of the commitment and the hard work that we kind of put into this. Awesome.
So I know that it always takes a village to achieve success.
It does.
And who is your unsung hero? And what does this person do or has done for you?
There's a lot. I mean, I'm going to start probably with my husband. He has been my biggest supporter, and the one that pushes me the hardest to kind of be where I am. Mm-hmm. He definitely has given me helped me get the drive to kind of stand up for myself, not just at work, but in life, and kind of put myself first. And then there's been people like Cherie, who is really a great mentor for me that I can kind of go to. But more importantly, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for God. So, 2015, 2014, definitely handed things over. And I was more the person that I could handle it all myself, and I didn't need anybody. And then, my world got rocked, and I realized is that I couldn't be in control anymore. So I kind of gave it over to him, and it's just been, I think that's really what has kind of catapulted me to where I am today.
So having known you for so long, that's probably been just the most rewarding thing for me to see is just your spiritual life taking on a whole other element, and just been it's just been amazing to see how you've just kind of continued to grow, along with that, and it's just been awesome to see. So thanks for sharing that. You mentioned Cherie's mentorship. We really believe in mentorship. Or do you have any other that you would look to for who've been mentors for you?
Definitely when Nancy Hendrickson. So I would go to her. We've spent time outside of work. Her grandson and my son would play against each other, during their high school games. And we would just be sitting there, talking and going through. But she was definitely a really strong person for me to talk with. And then one of my best friends, who actually interviewed for Kim's job. So she would have been in the office right next to me. She is, we connected through our kids and through church, and she is definitely somebody that I go to for support and just guidance.
Awesome. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Control the controllables.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So if you could go back to your first day, 19 or almost 19 years ago, and talk to your younger self about what life is going to be like at this Ishmore company. Now, what would you tell your younger self?
Enjoy it. Enjoy the ride, and work hard. Don't give up, and you're going to be able to kind of achieve anything that you want. I think that's the best thing I like about working here is that you can you can write your own story if you put the hard work in. I can go to, I've gone to you, I can go to Manny and say some crazy idea. And as long as I can do it and back it up, you guys have always had my back.
And so culture, you've talked a lot about it. What is it that makes our culture special, in your opinion?
The people.
Yeah.
It's we're a people company.
So Janet, what happens at Broad River that doesn't happen at other companies?
Well, being that I've been here 19 years, there's not many companies that I worked for.
In your opinion, you think,
I think it is we're not just here just to get the job done. We care about the people that are doing it. I know when somebody on my team is struggling and I say, I've got this, go handle what you got to do, go do what you got to do. and supporting them. I've got people on my team, and watching them grow has been really amazing. And, just this year, I've had people say to me, I never thought I could do this. I never thought that I would be able to be in a leadership position. And that's one, it's amazing just to watch people grow. I've had people grow outside of, that were in my department that have left and really kind of done well. And it's just exciting to see that happen.
Yeah. That's really cool. So you mentioned the 2008 Good to Great slogan. We love a good word of the year. We've condensed it down to a word. And this year it's thrive. So what does it mean for you to thrive?
For me to thrive, it is living each day to, getting everything I can get done in the day and getting it done well. Knowing I'm not going to sit here and do 60% job. I'm going to give them my 100%, 110% every day. I might not always be a 10. And that's okay. And not everybody can work at a 10 every day. Sometimes a 6 is the best I've got that day. But knowing that it's okay. We're going to get it done. And just thriving. I think it's really seeing your people happy. Seeing my team happy and excited, going at store openings and everybody saying, wow, this was a really great experience. To me, that's thriving. I think that we're doing our job when we have that happen.
I think that's great. And what advice would you, you basically said you have a win the day mindset, I love the quote, that's make each day your masterpiece. Yeah. And that's like the way I'm just thinking, reflecting on when you're speaking, that's how you approach each day. You attack the day with a vengeance and with a passion, with your list and getting it done. And so is that the advice you'd offer up to someone else to help him or her thrive? If not, what would it be?
Live out your passion. And if you have something that not everybody's seeing, talk to me about it. And I think that's, we go through the review process. Okay, what excites you? What makes you happy? Where do you see yourself in 1 to 3 years? If it's not here with me, that's okay. And so just go be passionate about what you want to do.
Love it. Follow your passions, or at least be passionate about what you're doing.
Correct.
While you're doing it. And see what happens from there. So what's one thing about you that would surprise others from the outside looking in? What do you think that would surprise your fellow memory makers?
I think a lot. I definitely shy away from talking about myself because I don't think it's very relatable. My dad had a heart transplant when I was 9 years old. My parents then split up and my mother got remarried and I was sent to a boarding school. They wanted to travel. They didn't want a child. So I was sent off to boarding school and it was a different time. I was at that point, 14 years old. I was dropped off at a place and 2 years later I left. So it was life-changing for me. Definitely did not experience a normal childhood. And then I came out of school and the option was either to be on my own or go back to a boarding school. So I chose to be on my own. And I was legally emancipated at age 16. Lived through some pretty rough situations. Lived in group homes. I was homeless. Just made it through each day. So all of that to say, when I look at that, where I was, and I also look at my kids where they are. So they're 15 and 17. They have no idea. they and I never want them. I never want them to feel like they don't have anything. So just going through that was, I think, really good, but it puts me where I am right now. So I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't go through all the experiences that I went through.
And I've heard that story several times, and it's so, it's just miraculous and so inspiring. Do your kids know that story? Do they? You said they don't know, they haven't, but is it because you haven't shared those details? They
know to a point. They don't know, I didn't know where I was going to get my food from the next day.
Can we talk about the fact that you were in a terrible car wreck at one point? And tell us about that experience.
So we were driving to the mall to pick up my ring, my engagement ring, because we had recently, got engaged, and our car was hit. I remember exactly where it was. I remember what was happening at the moment, and initially didn't have any issues. So we were banged up, but it was okay. The car was surprisingly drivable at the time, but it was a couple hours later where we were somewhere and I just fell down and didn't realize I wouldn't get back up for a few months. So it was my knee. Something crazy happened in my knee and I had to have surgery. Had the surgery, my leg got stuck.
Oh,
So it got stuck. It was bent for a few months. And the next process was I had to go into intensive care, so which ended up being on my 21st birthday. So that was my life. It was pretty traumatic, and they had to basically snap it straight, so and then keep it moving for 3 days. So, I mean, I remember not everybody in intensive care liked me, but there were people that passed beside of me, and I was always crying, and people that are going through, they didn't want to hear that. So then I was kind of put into an isolation room because it was pretty crazy. And then I had to relearn to walk. So the atrophy that happened to my leg, I mean, my leg was like a stick. So I had to relearn to walk again. This is all while I'm planning a wedding. And we got married in a Catholic church. It's a big old wedding that I had to plan. And at that point, we were planning for me to roll down the aisle with my wheelchair. So that was really difficult for me to I was 21 years old. So it was really difficult for me to grasp. I don't know why my husband still stuck by my side and stayed with me, but he definitely did. And I needed it because other than that, I didn't have anyone. But I was sent into inpatient rehabilitation. So it was a place where people get stroke victims or are recovering from. And I was there. I was the only one in my 20s. Everybody was like 80, around me. And it was just learning to walk again. And I remember the first day there, I had to take this, they gave me medication, and I was so angry at them. But physical therapists, they're a different breed of people. I mean, they push you, and they were like, no, you can do this. And kind of going through, and where I was definitely not stable at my wedding, I made it to walk down the aisle.
Wow.
I had sneakers on, but I walked down the aisle.
And so, you went through so much trauma from an early age to like 21, 22 years old and until you and your husband, newlyweds, said, let's leave with virtually no money and move to North Carolina. And then shortly after that, you joined Ishmore.
I did.
You came to the river. So it's I think that's probably why you can connect with people so well, because you've been through some really tough times and figured out how to get out of them. And that there's a really strong connection there with people. And it's so powerful for people to know your story, and you're so brave for being willing to tell it and share it. So what is something about Broad River that you think would surprise others from the outside looking in, a misperception or something?
I think that we are what we say we are. So I don't think there would be big surprises, or just the fact of you're surprised about we actually do and live what we say we do. You can probably have a lot of companies that want to, throw quotes out or, purpose statements or mission statements, what they call it, but we live it every day. And you can tell in, just the day-to-day practices and how we talk and interact with each other. And I mean, the collaboration that we do is really kind of amazing.
So it's good because you're just really teasing out there's a genuineness and an authenticity, which is really, really important. We want to be the same through and through.
Right.
Okay. So if you could, certainly there's something you would change if you could. And if you could change something about the company today with the wave of a magic wand, what would it be?
I don't think there would anything I would change. What I feel strongly about, if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of thing. And it's working. I mean, okay. I think just we are super flexible with, our team members and adaptable to the world. So I don't think I would change anything. I love what I do, and I love the company I work for.
Well, we don't have to change it. That's fine. Okay, let me see if I can get you on this one. Let's say that I've decided to retire, and you've done such a great job. Your next role is you're going to be taking over the president and CEO role of Broad River Retail. And today is your first day in this new role. What's your first order of business?
Well, if you're retiring, I'm retiring. So I had a vision of retiring at 40. That didn't happen. So we'll kind of go to the next one. But I would tell everybody we're going to keep the company the way that our founders kind of kept it. And our founders, between Jonathan Jackson and you and Manny, you've remained consistent with us, and you've remained passionate and focused. And I would say we're going to continue that. And we want to grow on that and kind of just
continue to build on the things that are great about the company. I'm sure you'll do a great job and figure it out. Okay, so switching gears, books and podcasts. What book are you currently reading?
So I'm not going to lie, I'm not so much of a reader. I have tried to do it in the car and me falling asleep. Not a good thing. But I have started listening to some podcasts. So my friend suggested Ed Milet, and I love it. I'm reading The Power of One More right now, and again, I feel like it is kind of what I do every day, but it is really great to kind of just sharpen the sword there, and I'm just trying to focus on that. Most of I spend a lot of time driving. 31 stores. There's a lot of driving, so I really kind of take that time instead of sometimes listening to podcasts, but just connecting with my team, connecting with my people.
Well, I've
90
heard,
people.
I've heard the Ed Milet. I've heard him. He's got a great podcast, and I've heard him do interviews on other podcasts talking about the book, The Power of One More. So it's on my short list. I'm waiting for the audiobook to come out. It'll probably come out by the time this episode releases.
There you go.
So that'll be a great one. Good recommendation. We'll put that in the show resources. So what show are you currently binge watching?
I try to stay relevant with my kids. Again, 15, 17-year-old boys. So my oldest son loves watching Marvel and anything to do with it. So he and we do that together. We, watch anything Marvel together. And then as a family, we watch, we're halfway through the season of the series Lost.
So my family, we like to watch like Kenobi and The Mandalorian and those Star Wars shows on Disney together. And then I'm a huge Lost fan. And so
it's awesome.
Have you not seen it before?
No.
Oh my gosh. Well, after this, we'll have to talk a lot about it. I haven't seen it in many, many years.
It's great.
I used to have Lost parties at my house, by the way. That's when I was trying to get to go out with Kelly, my wife, and anyways, maybe we should cut this part from the
You loved American Idol too. I do remember that.
Oh my gosh, we're definitely cutting this. I still watch American Idol sometimes.
Yep.
Cut this one. Okay. Well, when you start working for the day and have some time for yourself or your family, what do you like to do for fun or just to relax?
Never relax. We never have time for that. So, but we love going to our kids' games. Soccer games, basketball games. We're now into track and field and cross country. Just warning, if your kids ever do track and field, they're about 8 to 10 hours long.
Wow. Oh
yes, it's kind of crazy. But I love it. I don't just cheer my kids on. I love all the other kids. So love doing that. They're now to the point where they can drive themselves. With me being scared all the time, but Life 360 is a wonderful thing. So we are now kind of getting into, my husband and I are able to spend some time together, which I don't think we did for the first, 15 years. So it's been nice. We take a lot of walks. We do a lot of hiking. Yeah. I'm not the best hiker, but we just do things together. This weekend, we're going to go river tubing. So
that's awesome.
We just like to do a lot of things together. I know that the time between now and college happens is really small.
Those moments with your family and time with your husband are great. Our family, we just went on a trip to Costa Rica and we got to do river tubing for the first time. Oh, nice. So let me know how that goes.
I will.
Okay. So to someone who is not a memory maker and is thinking of joining the river, what advice would you offer to that person?
Come on down to the river. You're not going to be disappointed and you're going to love this place. Wait, wasn't that a tagline?
That's a great ending. I do have some bonus resources I want to get to. I'm going to surprise you with this.
Oh, gosh.
I reached out to a few folks who you work with and asked them about you. So this comes from Shelby McNabb, who's one of your leaders on Visual Impact. Oh man, it's hard to think if I have a story at all from the store openings for Janet. I always feel like she's on top of it all the time, or if she's not, we have no idea. I will say one of my new favorite store opening memories involves Janet, but she wasn't even there. The Greenwood store opening, day one. It was over 100 degrees, and you talked about this. Mm-hmm. We unloaded trucks that day, and in the afternoon, you could tell the team was tired. Trucks are hard and tiresome in general, but the heat really added to it. Jess came around swinging the cowbell and talking about an ice cream truck. We thought she lost it. A couple minutes later, an ice cream truck showed up to give all of us ice cream and have a much needed afternoon break. Janet wasn't even at the store opening because you're on vacation, probably at Disney with your family.
No.
Okay. Yeah. She was on PTO, but she was still thinking about how long today was going to be for the team and surprised all of us. As far as what Janet's leadership has meant to me, we all feel like she's been a huge advocate for what we do, why we do it, and the importance of it. And I think all of us really appreciate her taking ideas, thoughts, concerns, whatever they might be, and fix them. She does a great job of making all members of the team feel heard. I always tell her she's the busiest, hardest working person I know. But I asked a few other people. Okay. So I asked Manny about you, and Manny said Janet embodies true Broad River grit. She is the first person to sign up for an opportunity and works relentlessly until it is completed. We see this during our store openings. Her team's ability to receive 8 to 10 truckloads of product over 3 to 4 days per day and produce a premier retail shopping experience is exciting. She coordinates with our partners and other departments to get this completed. Her passion for learning has also been exciting to see. Over the past 4 years, Janet has built a premier visual impact team that oversees 31 retail locations, from category manager to director of visual impact. And then he referenced the Raleigh Capital move-in story. After waiting an unexpected extra day for our CO, we had 7 AFI trucks in the loading area, along with 61 memory makers who were poised to receive and unload this product into specifically marked areas. Well, we secured an option to move into a temp open space next door. And when I asked Janet, can the team unload into this space, build the product there, and then move it next door, she said, of course we can. She is solution-oriented and drives to completion. They got us moved in and open on time despite a day delay. Remarkable. But I got one more.
Uh-oh.
So I went to Jonathan Ishii. And Jonathan said she didn't know how smart she was at first. She had a chip on her shoulder, but quickly became the most proficient user of the Profit system. For a long time, she created and printed every single package tag in the store. She had a terrible attitude at first, was almost comical, reminded me of Gina Linetti on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't know, has a weird obsession with Disney. Was one of my very favorite people on our team. So damn reliable, proud of her success. Janet, it's been an honor to work alongside you for 17 years. Thanks for training me when I first started and helping me learn about product and furniture and everything else. Thanks for everything that you do. We're so grateful to have you on the team. Thanks for sharing your story. That's the Janet Leimkuhler story. Janet, any final words?
Thank you. Thanks for not taking my job all those years ago.
Join us every Wednesday. Stories from the River. Fresh new episodes come to you on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Google, wherever you're watching today. Mash that subscribe button. That helps us grow the podcast. And thank you guys so much. Thank you, Janet.